Hey, what's up, hotties? So the ADU project is finished. There is no more work left to be done. The only thing that we have left to do is a little bit of cleanup, but would you like to see how it all finished out? The view rail is in, the house is painted, it is completely, we gotta get final inspection, otherwise it is ready to move in. So, come on, I'll take you on a tour. Okay, nice wide 4-foot stair. You know, this is really about accessibility. So as an ADU, it's an accessory dwelling unit. It's not huge. The house itself is like 30 by 30. The porch is 42 by 42. This one though, was definitely more challenging than most projects we work on. And understandably, right? It's an ADU in an established neighborhood, an established backyard. The access was very tight due to septic. These are all just things that it's just the way it is. But that made it pretty challenging to get the trusses in and all that good stuff. So make sure that you watch the entire playlist because we documented this whole thing. But frankly, I could not be happier with how this turned out. It's all LP SmartSide on the outside. That's our favorite siding. I like the color. It sits well, the neighbors are happy. And now the last thing that we had to do was the view rail. And this thing is like 42 feet across the front, and I can't remember, it's about 10 feet short of each side. This was all essentially a change order, and the reason is because when the original design was done, no one really knew how the site work was gonna turn out. So when a certain distance off the ground, by code we have to put in railing, but even more than that is safety for the occupants. As they get older, nobody wants to fall off, right? And this is just a dynamite looking railing system. Very easy to install. All right, this week's video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is exactly the service that I chose to use to build my website back in early 2021. Let's take a look at it. Basically, what I wanted out of a website is I didn't want to take any time. I spend all of my time editing video and shooting video. I don't want to mess around with a website. And I'm not doing it for any kind of e-commerce or anything like that. This was basically just a place to direct people to my socials, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, especially YouTube. Hey, by the way, thanks for watching the video. And then early on, let me just click on the blog portion. These were just topics that came up pretty routinely on Instagram. A lot of it was just people's very strong opinions on things, but maybe lacking a little bit of knowledge. Or these were just things I found kind of interesting. So let me just find one for you. The one that I thought really got a lot of hate on Instagram, square holes in I-joists. Take a look at that picture. That is like, no way, you can't do that. Or can we? So the ducting had to go in the joists on this house. There was just no other way to do this. And so here's a tip for you. Get in touch with your designer. So we gave them the plans, everything, blah, blah, blah. This was the report that was given to us. So they do provide guidelines. When we go beyond that, then you have to get permission, right? And so they do a case-specific analysis. Well, you would think that this, just the fact that we got approval from the engineers and designers would be enough. But no, on Instagram, notice I say I-joist WebGate had begun. So anyway, this was basically, hey, since we answer this question pretty often, then let's just put it in the blog. So anyway, a few of my favorites. This is just how I organized my website. These are some channels that I really enjoy. And then I guess that's basically it. The whole point here, by the way, for my channel, never stop learning. I should really make a t-shirt. And then the about. So anyway, all of this takes no time to build. Notice right at the bottom, made with Squarespace. Head to squarespace.com/awesomeframers to save 10% off your first purchase of a domain or website using the code awesomeframers. I didn't actually help on this railing at all. Mostly because we're trying to stretch the work out. Also, I had needed to be out of town, but Kyle and Jordan knocked it out of the park with this. About a 3-day railing install. So VRail does a really good job. Once you get a couple under your belt, it goes pretty fast. So let's do a walk around the outside and then we'll go inside. It looks amazing. Okay, so here's something about this house that for us is a little different. Normally we would spend more time in the framing of a house than we would in siding of a house. But this one, the siding package, a lot of the cost went to these columns. This is like 16 columns. What you're looking at here, there's probably like 30 pieces to it just on the aesthetic side, right? The siding side. Each of the columns goes down to a footing that has its own hardware that attaches it to the pier base or the footing. At the top, we also have that hardware. I was able to order 42-foot long Roseboro glue lambs, which meant that we could set the corner posts in like a middle, get them all dialed in straight, and then drop the post down. That's a lot quicker than if you were to do each of these as like its own length. We could only do that because we had the forklift. We could only do that with the forklift because we had the truss chip. I mean, it was quite a rigmarole, but it looks so good. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Now, as I mentioned, there's more time in the siding, but not so much the lap siding here. This is easy. And as somebody who's only 5'6 3/4, this is easy. It just does not get any easier to side. However, once we add all of these pieces, it gets a little bit more complicated. Not terrible. So what we did is we did one of the columns, and at every stage we took pictures and we labeled so that then we could just duplicate that. I think I had to go to International Builder Show or something. Anyway, it's all just order of operations. If you get that dialed in, then you can really speed things up, because once we establish, for example, this height, these can all be pre-cut. You just come up with cut lists, and it's not complicated. It's just, let's get it right the first time. So let's go in the house and I'll just show you. There's not a whole lot to show here. Nice and simple. I think this turned out really well. I like the selection of colors. You know, it'll be an older couple living here, but it's just nice and bright. So let me bring you over. I'll show you the kitchen. Okay, so it's just a nice kitchen. It's nice and bright with the clear story windows. I don't remember what these were, 6050s or 5060s. Looks like 5060s. All the clear story windows above it. Just not huge, but very comfortable. So like I mentioned, it was just not that much framing here, but I will show you a couple of things. Okay, I'm gonna control the camera with my phone. This is just a wall that runs the full length. I think it was like 16 feet back. It has a footing underneath it, but we really struggled up above here with the girder truss. The girder truss was full 42 feet long by over 10 feet tall. It was a 4-ply. Anybody who's worked with trusses, they basically, everything is the same on each truss. They build it 4 times and then they press it together, but because of the gang plates on it, the thing just is kinked and squirrely. This up here was all hand cut, and then the finish carpenter added the faux beams after the fact. Scroll back down to me. So that was all hand cut. What we did is we just ran a string and we shimmed out the ledger, attached it with structural screws, way overkill, planed it out so it's nice and straight. The roof is nice and flat, because you want it to look good from the outside as well. And then filled in on that girder truss so that the walls would plane out, and now it looks fantastic. It just really never shows how much work it takes to make it look fantastic when it's finished. The bonus room. So we are looking at 42 feet long, 12 feet front to back. This is all basically storage. We have attic space on that side. A little bit of attic space here. I don't know, maybe 4 feet. And then it's that tall wall we were just talking about. Well, wall plus 4-ply girder. We have access points to be able to get into that. Not a whole lot to show here. But let's do some fly around with my new drone. Hey, it doesn't get a whole lot simpler than that. Outro, take 3. Hey, thanks for following along, everybody. This build definitely had some unique aspects to it, challenges, but overall pretty straightforward. Nice wide stairway for the owners. We're gonna get some grip tape, put it across these so that they're not slick once the weather turns. Right now, we just started summer, so we're looking forward to a nice summer. Hit that like and subscribe button. And the little notification bell. So we are just about, we've already placed the concrete, stripped it. It's ready for backfill, the foundation for the next project. You're gonna wanna follow this project. I am gonna take a little different approach to shooting the content and editing the content. We have a ton of structural stuff that we've never done before. We're partnering with PWT on this build. There's gonna be a bunch of LVL studs for the big tall walls. We're gonna Monopoly frame this. Brian's got some building science details that we'll go over and describe. Make sure you go follow him over at thebuildshownetwork.com. He's gonna really get into the weeds on the installation. Sealed crawl space, net zero ready, all of that good stuff. I don't really even know what all we're gonna do, but you know what's in this case? This is the brand new DJI Mavic 4 Pro. That's right, I got one. So there's gonna be a lot of drone footage. In fact, that's what's left on this project. Thanks for following along, I really appreciate it. Hit the like and subscribe button, notification bell. See you guys in the next video. Also, happy weekend.